years, months, and days, but I didn't get to know them until I got to know them, or I was really in a social equality where I could say, I know that man. I can vouch for that man. There's brothers sitting around and I can vouch for y'all. And I can say, yo, I know them brothers is AFC. And you better know that. Because regardless of what any of them clowns tried to put out about what went on in Charlotte, once again, not capping myself, I put 60 G's into that for a school. For a school. And then as soon as nondescript, half gangbanging niggas said whatever they said because of my past history, people use that. But when is my past history ever involved anything with the nation that I did that was wrong? And on top of that, I'm not an idiot. I had a college degree before I started going to prison. So therefore, I wouldn't invest $60,000 into us having a school and a business and then turn around and sell drugs out of it. Like, what sense would that make? And we had businesses prior to that. So what I'm saying is, when it all comes down, people judge and people take sides and people allow shit to go on according to that person or according to that group. Because you know certain individuals will stand up and say shit and nobody won't say nothing. And then another person will come along and, oh God, brother, give them a third degree. But Allah ain't need that. He left us all to be able to stand on our own. Arm, leg, arm, head. I don't need nobody else to be my leader, teacher, and guide to that fucking point. If I need it now, where equality now is there, you know what I'm saying? And I know I just go on out there, have dementia, you know, Parkinson, any of that shit where I can't think. So, you know, all I'm saying is, you know, let's just keep, you know, all the positive things that we got going, you know, whatever little air pockets that they in, and, you know, God the earth, let's build, man. All right, let's build. Peace.
I was listening to the God. I was listening to the God here. Add on to what the God was making more about putting hands on the queens, putting hands on the earths. That's a no-no, God. I got 8 daughters. It's a no-no. It's a no-no. You get punished, God. There will be a severe punishment. See, make no error, make no mistake. This is what the God making understood. Severe punishment. Don't matter who you are, God. You chose to beat on that woman and you chose to deal with your punishment. That's one. Two, the God mentioned trust. See, our lessons teach us about what? Knowledge. Knowledge means to know. God, look, listen, observe. Your ways and actions, your acts and deeds will tell us, you know, who you are. This is what we're doing the knowledge to. Your ways, your actions, your deeds, shit you're doing for this nation, and what you ain't doing for this nation will make us understand who you are. That's from the what? From the knowledge. Knowledge means to know, God. Trust ain't in our lessons. Truth, wisdom, cipher. That's that person. That's in our mathematics. That's in our alphabet. It don't say nothing about trust in 120. Nothing. Because that's face value. You trust. Who you trust? Who you trust? That's, God, understand something. We don't deal with trust. We deal with truth. The power in our self. That shall improve our equality amongst each other. That's our equality from the truth. The power. Ain't no trust. You trust me? You got to know me. I don't trust nobody. I teach my babies, man. What? Trust. You know him? You know her? What you know about her? You know? I don't teach my babies, don't teach. My children, God, and their children. And my children, see, one thing about teaching now is self. My children won't hurt your children. My son is not going to hurt your son, Prince. Hello, Prince. My son is not going to hurt this God's children. That's how you teach, because this is, but that comes from teaching the knowledge of self. That don't come from teaching them how to trust people. We don't deal with trust. It ain't in our math. The truth is in mathematics, not trust. Because I listen, I do the knowledge, God. And your ways, your actions, your deeds gonna tell us who you are. You said something about selling drugs and dope. Yo, dog, I think that's what you doing. You sell dope. That's what you do. You know what I mean? What you want, that's what you do. You know? That's you.
You saying don't wear no flag if you do no shit.
Dog, I'm saying, dog, look. There's a punishment for everything.
Exactly, and they gotta know that punishment. It's gonna be bigger if you wear the flag doing that shit.
Dog, I'm just talking about trust.
I understand. I'm agreeing with you, God.
But I'm saying there's a difference of what we building. Sound travel, God, 1,250 per second. That's our what?
That's what I heard it.
That's our culture. It's our culture. I'm more culture, so I'm saying, God, our freedom is in this. Our freedom has everything to do with this, God.
Just what you see.
You touch on the earth, you beat up on earth, you get done.
But we all own it here.
And like I said, we don't deal with trust, we deal with truth. That's all.
I have my hand raised before.
All right.
But I would like Father Charbonne to be up here when I do. Only because what I'm going to say, my name is Queen Khalifa. I got knowledge of self and God equality. What he said is wonderful. It is very fair seeming. Who is going to enforce that? Because all of that that's being put out there on the internet, trust and believe it's been happening. The internet is just bringing it to the forefront. The same thing with this whole Black Lives Matter, Me Too. It's bringing it to the public eye, but it's always happened behind closed doors. Father Charbonne is here now. What he said about brothers putting their hands on sisters and brothers enforcing it, all well and good. When? Then what happened? The thought is wonderful, but this has been happening with brothers putting their hands on sisters, and the reality is, because they are gone, no one has stepped to them. And do you think that what they have done was unknown? It was not unknown. And trust and believe, I'm not bashing the God, because I bear witness that the black man is the greatest being walking on this planet. I love the black man. You understand? He is absolutely the supreme being. However, in the time that he was speaking of, you said you got knowledge of God born. There were sisters getting their asses whooped. And brothers knew. All of that is just, it's hitting the internet, and sisters are bringing it out. But this is something that has been happening in the fatherhood. And where it's gone. Today I was thinking, because to me, when I see knowledge culture, I think what is the meaning of MGT and GCC? Because to me, those are the attributes of a good black woman in Islam. That's what separates a black woman in Islam from an 85%. Those skills that she has, those 7 units, MGT and GCC. Okay? Mother of civilization. Today is Mother's Day. Okay? Civilization. One has knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, and refinement, and is not a savage in the pursuit of happiness. Who is it that determines who is and isn't the true and living God when a brother puts his hands on a sister? Because I have known brothers, I've had a brother put his hands on me. The only men who have ever put their hands on me were God. 2 of them got these hands back. One of them because he was a killer, and I was alone with him. He was walking me home, no physical. I was young. I was maybe 20 years old, I believe. And the brother had an attraction.
You can say Gumar completely lost.
But that brother was eventually exiled for other situations. Right. That brother showed up at a parliament, and the brothers greeted him like he was the prodigal son that came home. So that is beautiful, what you are saying, Father Charbonne. I firmly bear witness to that, because I am a staunch advocate.
Can I say one thing?
I'm a staunch advocate in that the black man is the maintainer and protector of the black woman. But so many sisters have on the internet, what we need on the internet, I agree with you. We need to show to the outside world, we need to show a united front. But what we need is a sit down with the gods of earth, and we need to discuss the domestic affairs that's taking place in this nation. Because if you follow some of these brothers and sisters home, you would think, the brothers that you think, oh, that's a good brother, that's a good brother, follow his ass home and see how he's treating these women as
Wait, let me just bring one thing to your attention and to everybody else. Right, yeah, just one thing. All right. Now, my sister just finished saying that nothing gonna happen and people don't do something. Well, let me tell you something. Peace be upon my big young little brother, C.I. Kidd. All y'all remember, Kundalini was exiled. At the time, our supreme investigator was standing right outside and a bunch of other people and his peers. He was exiled and everybody was going, here go Kundalini, here go Kundalini. Me and C.I. Kidd stood at the door and told him he couldn't come into Parliament. Yeah, we stood at the door. And peace be upon my big brother, Raleigh didn't speak to me after that because he was with him. He was like, come on, you gonna do it like that? He told me and C.I. Kidd like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna say, I'm saying this to let you know that me personally, I don't care if you walk with a law. You know what I'm saying? If you're not writing this act or you doing something in my presence, I'm saying if I'm there, I'm not gonna allow it.
And what we need is more like-minded brothers such as yourself. Because that's the only time that there's gonna be what they call a paradigm shift. Because brothers have turned a blind eye because he's God. And because they may roll with him and he's a good brother. You don't know who's a good brother until you follow him home and see how he is in his domestic affairs. Some of them are filthy in all their affairs, but they will come, quote lessons, and they are intelligent, brilliant black men. But ask their women. That's what you
I love your peace. I gotta believe it.
Hold their black women, and you will know. You will definitely know. We need brothers to police other brothers, for lack of a better word. We need our black men to be our protectors. A queen will recognize a king. We need enforcers. And then the sisters will feel safe and they would not have a problem with getting knowledge of self. It's a sad situation when the black man who is the true and living God by nature, because not all of them, like the brother said, will live that out. However, you come into this culture, when you learn who you are, this culture teaches you the knowledge of God, the knowledge of devil, the knowledge of self. You understand? Good, bad, and indifferent. But the reality is, I know I had expectations that when I got knowledge of self, I felt exalted because I know who I am, and I'm going to strive to carry myself to live that out. And I had very high expectations of the black man. And when you go through certain situations with a black man, that can scar a sister emotionally. And we had some beautiful sisters that in the 80s there was a mass exodus. Beautiful sisters though. Beautiful sisters, a mass exodus that if you go up to them now, my BFF went up to a sister and when she asked the sister about the garden, she's like, I don't even want to talk about it. Don't mention his name. Another sister that I know got on the train and ran into a sister who was actually educated by my son's father. She said peace to her. The sister cussed her out just for saying peace. I said, wait, you just said peace? This is how scarred sisters are from having gone through things. Now I do bear witness that a sister should not put her hand on a brother. Okay, because if the brother hit you back, I mean, I am one who has thrown these hands, and I was lucky enough to not be with men that were woman beaters. mistresses that were abusers.
Still a difference.
You understand?
It's still a difference.
But, you know, I realize that violence begets violence, and if I don't want to catch somebody else's hands, I need to keep mine to myself. However, if you put your hands on me, I'm going to cut you tooth and fry, because them days are over. But we need brothers. What he said is so important, but we need to have a forum, not where the public is involved, not on Zoom where it can go on the internet, because once it's on the World Wide Web, it's out there for anybody that can hack in. But we need to have a forum where we are discussing male-female relationships as it relates to the nation of the gods and the earth. Because there definitely needs to be a paradigm shift. There needs to be more morals, like he said, morals. Morals to me means right and exact, righteous. Not holy, wholesome. Wholeness, something that is going to be healthy, that's going, you are with a person and you have a healthy relationship, not toxicity. Because you say the babies are the greatest, and your babies are around that, and children are learning what they live, what are they doing that? Your home should be your paradise. If you have knowledge of self, your black man, when he comes home, that's his paradise. The black woman is his heaven. That's how I see it. And that's how I strove to be. But, I had my little expectations crushed to the earth. You understand? But still I rose because I have knowledge of self. Whether I have a black man, whether I step foot in a mosque, a parliament, I am going to have knowledge of myself. Because when I got it for me. But we need the sisters to be able to feel protected. We need the sisters here. There's no babies because there's no earths. In the 70s, there was a sea of black women. You couldn't go to a parliament and didn't see a sea of 3/4 on their way to Harriet Tubman in the 70s. When you got on that A or D train, you may not have known anyone before you got on there, but you are going to run into people that you will know when you got on. And there was love. We had love for each other. We considered each other family. We considered each other family. And that's what needs to be returned. And we need black men to enforce it, because all that above is caused by the Son of Man. And you all are the foundation, and you all can make it happen, because the power lies within you. The power lies within you, but it needs to happen. What he said is so on point. On point. It needs to happen. But it doesn't need to be just something spoken at a parliament. How they say grown folks talk? It needs to be where it is. And rather than do Zoom, I don't know, if it could be like a conference call where it's just telephone, but it's not through the internet or whatever, or in each different region. But it needs to be addressed. It needs
Bring
to be
that to a law
addressed.
school and get addressed.
It needs to be addressed.
Well,
What
we
he
get
said
beat up,
is
well,
very important.
Get
It's
beat up,
consistent, and it's been
well,
going on. It's not the internet that now, because of the internet, this is coming out. This has been going on. I have known sisters that have gotten their asses whooped.
Gotta bring that
You
to a law
understand?
school.
When we have nation business, that is.
And God have known. God have known. And didn't come to that sister's aid.
But if they don't speak
Didn't
up,
come to
everybody
that
gonna know.
sister's aid. I was fortunate that I was in Linden Plaza. And the righteous community, the 5% community in Linden Plaza was a very close-knit community. You couldn't come up on Linden Plaza, not that anybody ever did it, but you couldn't come up on Linden Plaza and touch Queen Taniqua and leave Linden Plaza. Trust and believe. You were not getting out of, you were not getting out of Linden Plaza.
Got cycles over here.
You touched this
You got
sister,
cycles
you
over
were
here.
not getting
You
out
got,
of Linden
pink houses
Plaza.
over
My
there.
brothers were gonna
You ain't going
handle
nowhere
you.
with that.
Who can do?
My brothers would have handled you.
All of us.
Can do all of it. Can do all of it. I'm from London. I'm from London.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, well, that's when they were,
You know,
that's
the
when they
pink
were.
houses and
Yeah,
cycles.
he was right to think. He was
It
doing right.
changed.
Yeah,
It changed.
It changed, yes.
But like I said, even
It's so much.
nowadays, Nowadays, those brothers are not there. But trust and believe there's still enough brothers that, as I say, if Queen Tamika says, Allahu Akbar, they're gonna be there. They're going to be there. That's all I got to do, and they're gonna lock it low.
Other
You
than that,
understand?
bring it to a law school.
They're gonna lock it low.
somebody
But there are sisters that did that too, and it didn't happen. It's all fair seeming, it sounds good. Then what happened?
Long shot.
Wait,
Yes, that's it.
yeah, no, I'm getting on that. So, peace, everybody. All things said are relevant to germane to, to the cipher, absolutely. I don't want nobody to misinterpret. I don't want nobody to misinterpret, facial expressions. I get it, you're right, exactly, absolutely. However, my bill is on, and it'll touch on that too, but it's on support, right? Because I call people who come here to support what we doing. Let me stand up. Let me stand up. Oh, sorry. When we build for the builders, we destroy the seeds. Everybody here, what that mean? Yeah, I'm not caring about it because you destroy. I'm the clean glass against the dirt. We the clean glass against the dirt. Right? Hey, no question. Listen, God, like the God said, that ain't go nowhere. See, I don't have to comment on that, what the God shot born said. Right? Because you got people that if we enforce the law too, that ain't go nowhere. The times, right? Yeah, absolutely. This area, geographically and logistically, is different from some 50 years ago. And how we did what we did. But the truth in which we speak remains. And what remains is we in this cycle, right now, talking about building. Building what? We take it from the roof. Whatever it is that we need to take. We understand, God. We don't negate like God said, nation business, whatever that may be as we move on. Absolutely. I mean, I'm gonna have to go through a long-winded conversation. Sound travel. Yeah, I quote that too. I don't get caught up in that. See, my thing is, like the other was saying, is actual fact or no fact at all. You just can't put nothing in my lap that I'm gonna run with it. When you got the fact that it is what it is, then it is what it is. Right? However, you got ideas that being manifested right now, right? In this nation, right? For our growth and development. No disrespect, God. You have to clean glass. I'm not gonna waste your time with that. I'm not gonna sit up here for no hour talking to you. Can take this money, God. Because why? Because again, when people see. Because light travels faster than sound. You talking about sound. I'm a see it first before I hear it. Right. So when people see, oh, I see what he's saying. Okay, but no, I want to mess with that, not that. Right. We building now. We get right to the bone. We got ideas. We got people talking about the law school. Right. There's a whole lot of science talking about the law school and what we doing there. But this is what I said. My Justice Hakim. He building here, him and the guards in there. So we support the idea here in Medina. Wherever my family's at, we support that. But what they doing, Shabu doing it in North Carolina. How can we get there and make that happen? Because it's about growth and development. Like you said, God, yeah, all of us here, we old timers, God. It's my big old brother here, right? We're old timers in here, so we know what it is that we need to do. Get caught up in that. I caught that too. This is what I said. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Check out the 28 degrees and 1 to 40, because we enforce the laws too. And if it comes to the actual fact, it is what it is. However, I lose sight that the floor of the school needs to be maintained. That we need to put these ideas together. And I ain't arguing with my brother. I was talking Born King and them out there. You know what I mean? Look, we need to we collect the money to get the school right. Because that's our alma mater. Everyone here, that's our alma mater. Like Cooney and Columbia, that was our alma mater. And Almighty God gave it to us. And I come here because our father did this. That's our brother too out of Medina. You know what I mean? So I take back, this is my school. Let me yell that one out. That's damn right. All law, he Allah all. I am who I am, man. And I come out of the oasis. I was taught here too in Medina by Shaheem and Scott. Man, please, man. I ain't got to know where they live. I was an act pupil, and I come from a time we all did when I could be on South Road and Sutton Boulevard and know the guards here and Rockaway and the Bonus building. Ain't no spooky about that. That's the, I feel my brother around the corner. That's how you know 5%, huh? Because we, like the guard said in my class I teach on Saturday, it comes because we come from that orientation. But we understand that times change, not the truth. Right? You have the internet. You can't argue. I can tell Umar in that. Don't take my picture. I'm not my older brother say, don't take my picture, God, you with that. See, God, that Shabbat said, God, you know who you are. I'm not going to. Right? And but you have to be mindful of the apparatus and devices that we use. But yeah, God, but I forward motion, God. You know what I mean? I get we have issues. See, here go my thing. Let me conclude on this note. Right?
Thank you.
In order to come to a solution, right, you gotta highlight the problem. My thing is, quite often, we get too long-winded with the problem. Yeah, we get too long-winded with it. See, you know, oh yeah, this one ain't, okay, I get you. Like the queen has the right to be long-winded in her examination or IPC thing. See, my thing is, real quick with that one, you know, ain't nothing changed. Put your hands on him, he put hands and feet on him. Next topic. Next topic. Yeah, listen, y'all, let me tell you something. You got the queen asked another question, say the truth. Why did it happen? Because some are cowards.
Like
Straight easy, someone have a spine.
Like peaceful
You
love.
only hear. Yeah, we go there, we get there, we get top. I mean, I do all that. Yeah, he know. Yeah, but I'm saying, but not everybody in the, I see the bond and both the bond and the dog, and I'm here because of their magnet. That's why I showed out here. Right? Okay, who you in? I'm in Lost Supreme. I'm kidding about that. People are better than those people. Come here, talk to the folk. Come this way. You ain't gonna live off his wing. Right? You gotta show me proof. And by that, I'm going with me, I'm talking about this building with the application of your work ethic, that God says, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we hear. See, God, let me say this, I'm commenting on the beauty that's here. Right, I'm commenting on that. Here goes Justice Kim in there. Right, listen to this one. Let me get to the bone now, it's my favorite science. We have nowhere to go for a parliament during this pandemic. Let me quote, we're gonna go through some lessons, tell us how the devil is made. So he microscopically doing to the atmosphere means to keep you from one another. He did that expertly. That's why I have a healthy respect for my enemy, because he's formidable. Right? All right. So we had, the way we did things had to change. Because prior to that, no such thing as Zoom. Right? But then there was a twofold with that. But then, here's what I'm saying. But we lost Harry Tubman for, due to the pandemic. So everybody, where are we going? We fast forward the tape. The guard and his team came up, you're going to get to school. Peace to the family, we open the door for you. We had a place to come to. Why would you not support him? Because we came out here, remember? Why would you not support the idea? Wherever we building at, whatever we're doing. I lose no more time getting long-winded about like the God. Let's keep it simple. I hear what the God's saying, you know what I mean? The knowledge means to know. That's one of the rule of thumb of a 5%. To be a good ruler, you gotta know how to measure. Which means this. Yeah, I beg you a little bit, I get the God. But he's telling you that I don't trust you without having the knowledge first. I ain't gonna paraphrase the wisdom, God. Right, I'm not gonna trust you without knowledge. That's wisdom knowledge.
That's right, exactly.
The God is talking, no, that's why Cecilia told me, I'm not shaking your head, because what comes next become physical. Let me know you in the brain, then I get to know you. And we go to the wisdom mind now. Yeah, we drink. You smoke weed, we're not religious, knock it off. Right? But we just, but, and here's what I'm saying, I'm not just I'm highlighting that because that's the way we break bread, when we come together. But once I got to know you, right, then we can establish the bond of trust, which is grounded in truth. Because it's not really true who you are until I get to know you. But here we are, God. See, on this day, on the knowledge culture, somebody asks you, how you see the day not for manners? Not with no disrespect, depending on who it is, right? The day not for manners, I was sitting among a cycle of men and women who were coming together for one common cause to get some things done. The question is, what were you doing? What were you doing? See, not just wearing my flag. Because we building here and abroad. My home to comes equals your home to comes a year to every mile. So whatever you're doing in Virginia, North Carolina, it's just that we live here, so I'm concerned about the root. It's about the law school in Mecca, but it's about Medina. It's about the oasis. Wherever they build it, while we be building, we need your assistance. The equality needs to be and what be equal. So let me be there and deal with that. And in the interim, we don't stop being a 5%. The examination. Everything's subject to be showed and proved. Yes, God. I say to my class constantly, you have a lot of people that's instant oatmeal, right? Just add water and I'm the God of the earth. Right? Look, here comes the phone here. I keep my favorite example. Open. Google. 5% of 120 PDF print. Read it. Come to the site. My name is Magnetic. No, my man. You're not no God, man. You still a pork-eating savage. Huh? Oh, yeah, okay, thank you. I can't. You still a pork-eating savage. Right, because you didn't go to Shabu. See, because the culture today not matters means that you gotta live. I gotta walk with you. That's how we got it. You gotta ring my bell, you gotta call me. You know, we gotta exchange. You gotta go like the Gardens did yesterday. Plus, I get the number, get your number. Yeah, that's how you get that. You're not gonna get off the internet, because anybody, who that mystery God giving you that? Right. So you know, because that's why the diagram was to give you the well-rounded picture of reality. You know, but I just wanted to say that, man, and I wanted to commend all of y'all here in the cipher, man, for coming out and adding on. You know, because I understand, I get you out with my brother, I get you. And I get the brother, because that needs to be said too. But I'm not going to sit here for no years, once a day, talking about that. Right, no, I get the sister too. I'm just saying, here you go. And no disrespect, I can look at someone's face here. I got all men here. Right? Some armed. Cut your chest. Why'd that happen? Because you a coward. See, I was talking before you to the side. You talking for me? I don't do that. Like the God said, I'm doing the favor system. We ain't talking that. Truth, that is the dog down. Right? So that's a sign of that. But my thing is, like God said, Butley's on the contrary. So, on the contrary, I'm saying we're building. And there's ideas, there's things that we need to do. Here at home and abroad, whatever the God was building with you, divine, and your church, that was stuff. Right. No, I'm not saying that other things can't be talked about or highlighted, but see, here's what happens. So I held you hostage for 25, 30 minutes. He ain't shit. That day ain't this. And back in the days, he went and he raised his hat. And for 25 minutes we did that, and not a solution, and we left here with nothing. You weren't even, you was just talking, my man. You weren't even building. Because building means I'm able, like he just did, to extrapolate, take from your work, information. Let me write this down, let me get that, and then I can make it walk and talk. Based upon your experience. That's building, not just running your mouth. Right? Ain't no wrong that we are fathers and we will run our mouth. God in her. I get it. But we're taught when you do open your mouth, make sure it's magnetic and sound you make it. Right. And yes, somebody said that here, yes. Also, your works and your deeds. Yes. I told the God that, like I see the God here, and some of my older brothers. I had to guard from, no disrespect. I respect my brother. I stand on their shoulders. I ain't scared of you. So what you walk with the law? I walk with him each and every day. All law, he a law all. You did actually, dummy, since you said that. Then, as much is given, much is required. So where's your work? What's school? What? As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's keep it real simple. Where are you from? Let's walk down the block. How many people know you and know your work? Let's not even talk about work. Yeah, yeah, come on. You a large 35%? Where you from? Do they know you? Do they know you by your work? Yeah, come on now. We ain't got time for that. So see, that's why I'm getting caught. Like, what are we doing? Yes, there are things that need to be addressed. Absolutely. Hands down. I mean, come on now. Yeah.
Can I add a little?
Yeah. I got you, please. I got you. I'm gonna tie it up. So, in essence, we build for the buildings, right? And so when you do that, right? What I mean by build, what needs to be done? Right now, we understand that what needs to be done also is identifying and addressing concerns. But don't sit up here for a whole hour telling me about, so what's the solution then? Because you held me hostage. I had brothers come to Parliament, almost practically before. Did I get a statement? Because all you did was argue and scream and moan. This ain't church, my man. You ain't this. You have no credit. You know, we gonna go through love, heaven, and right. It's gonna be hard for a father, son. You know, but nevertheless, we here, we building, we doing what we doing, right? And I commend you and everybody here. And whatever I can do to add on to help, let me know. With that, I'm gonna say peace.
Peace.
Not only am I a law of mathematics, I'm also the liaison for the office of cultural management. One of my duty and responsibility is being in contact with God's earth in different regions, especially when it comes to interior cipher. Shabu said something when it came to how this knowledge is not being taught how it was taught. How when I got it in the 70s, early 80s, on the street corner anymore. People go to social media to learn certain things now. You know what I have to deal with sometimes on a daily basis? I have to debate and argue with correctional capitals, the capital of each different states, when it comes to what book they want to designate to be the book that God's earth is supposed to follow for the nation of God's earth. In North Carolina, they want to use John Ali III book, which is Elijah's son, as the book for corporate worship, as they designated down in North Carolina. I have the case in South Carolina being argued right now with regard to understanding. You know what I'm saying? When the lawyers ask for more information on that, you know what I'm saying? What is it they're supposed to have and everything, stuff like that. These are some of the things that we have to deal with. Because if we don't deal with it in this type of manner that we need to deal with it in, we have people going on social media, either getting John Ali III book, Michael Muhammad's book. There's 2 books being sold on Amazon right now, 120 lessons. I can't remember the person name that wrote it. Books is not writing exact. This is what happens if we don't address the situation we have with people getting, as Wise just said, writing exact, getting it right and exact. Because that's the big problem right now. We have guards just going ordering books, you know what I'm saying, instead of getting it right and exact from the guard who can teach them properly. And this is where the biggest problem comes. Shabu, I think it was Shabu spoke about how Minister Freedom put out there that he has an abundance of mail. He needs people to come respond to these people. What happens if we don't respond to these people? They start going to other areas to get this knowledge. I have Born King Universal from Supreme Design Publishing, where they publish Knowledge of Self, The Science of Self, When the World Was Black, Black God. Those book publishing companies, he gets an abundance of mail. At a law school in Mecca, we get an abundance of mail. But now, Professor True Living now deals with the correspondence that comes to a law school in Mecca to try to make sure, one, that the person there is writing his act and making sure they get the proper knowledge of self. The simple fact, because people just going anywhere to get this knowledge now because people was not responding to them. So now you might have people 3,900 miles away in Morocco, which they call Seattle, Washington, saying that no, 12 Jews is a part of 120. No, it's not. I had to deal with that issue, you know what I'm saying, with the guards in California too as well. You know what I'm saying? No, 120, no, that's not part of 120. We're having what we call an add-on lesson. There's certain questions being asked. Just got a question asked from the guards in North Carolina. Why did a law named Bronx Pelon, the Queen Oasis, and Brooklyn Medina, everything, stuff like that? That's the next question. What happens is if we don't handle the correspondence, what happens is it comes from people following social media. So what I do, last Parliament, we had Zoom. Zoom only allowed 100 people. We had 38 people. I also go live with it because this is where the Knives of Wisdom started. Let them get it live for where the Knives of Wisdom started when the law brought it to us. I had 105 views for me broadcasting it live. So God can get it right and exact, see what's being manifested here. Because sometimes when knowledge travels, by the time it gets 3,900 miles away, it becomes something else. So we have to, if social media is the means, I know a lot of guys say they don't like to deal with it. If it's the means, matter of fact, in the Zoom conference the other day, you know what I'm saying, I was going to speak about that. No, I don't like using social media. These social media pages, when you form these groups, you're supposed to have an administrator. The administrator is supposed to know who he's letting inside these groups. When it comes to the Street Academy page, which Born Justice oversees, now he casts out a lot of people that come in there with that BS. This is what these administrators are supposed to do. If we can use this to make sure this knowledge is being spread right and exact, we have to do it because that's the means of passing knowledge today. It's hard to get them through, bringing them to the corner or bringing them to the rally. Father Chabon speaks about algorithms and how the internet, once you look at something once, it shows you any type of thing, anything dealing with that. Give me. So yes, if we create pages and people start looking at these pages, guess what? Information that's right and exact, we need to make sure, we need to monitor it. Something that needs to be monitored by us, making sure that it's right and exact being spread. It's the same thing now. Everything is being sold of the nation and God of earth now. 120 lessons being sold by Amazon? Are you serious?
Yes, you were so before.
This is why we need, listen, as I say every time, Professor True Living is one person. I must bring him over 70-something letters a month for him to try to correspond with that. That's just here in Mecca. But now I have Supreme Design Publishing sending mail up here, and Minister Freedom just asked for help. We need God's earth to be able to start corresponding with these brothers to make sure they get right and exact information. I had God's old earth contact me from Texas. That's the God. I said before I sent it to him, I sent him a whole bunch. I must have sent him like 8 to 10 questions before he sent it back and answered me. I sent you an old earth, and old earth sent it to him so you can have it in jail in Texas, in the penitentiary where he had in Texas. Yes, we must do our investigations too as well. But we have to stop brothers thinking, it's okay to buy lessons. It's not okay to buy lessons. And then the lessons they buy is not right and exact. I forgot that book I just bought, 120 lessons. I got to put it very somewhere. They're selling 120 lessons now. It's abundance of mail. I say that Universal Parliament every now and then. If anybody wants to come help with the correspondence, even see Professor True Living, I have mail right now. I have to give to them. This is a duty. This is part of our duty. This thing right now, listen, nobody likes it, but social media is the means of communication today. And it's going to get even bigger in another knowledge cipher, wisdom cipher years. So what are we going to do to combat it? What are we going to do to make it useful to us? If there's a way for it we can make it useful, let's do it. We just bought a whole year subscription of Zoom. So we're going to try to have every single Universal Parliament by Zoom for those that cannot make it. something that we wasn't doing in the past. We are trying to find a way to make means to make sure this knowledge reaches to everybody. A lot of people write a law school mecca. Act 21, 22, a law and justice way. It's a fact because this is where it started. Yes, it's all about, coming here, supporting each other. Supporting each other. In whatever means necessary, supporting each other. We don't know if there's going to be another pandemic coming across us. So what are we going to do then? This is what we prepared. The pandemic woke us up. Right now, the guards that's part of the prefab building has been meeting with Born Justice, the Core 5 that's dealing with building some of the law school mecca, and with Born King and them team, you know what I'm saying, for us to come together as one mind, one body, so that we can start doing everything right in the Zach. Make sure this knowledge is being spread right in the Zach. Make sure we have a place to be able to build right in the Zach without becoming dependent on somebody else. The last Universal Parliament, see what happened? It rained, it stormed. We had a bus come up from Pennsylvania. A bus. We had to pack everybody inside the law school in Mecca. And it happened to be, was it that morning? Somebody called, so listen, it's going to be storming. We're going to try to make it turn over the day before. And we made means, I'll put it out on social media, we're going to have something at the law school in Mecca, blah, 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 and stuff like that. But the bus is already coming on the way. They already paid for the bus. This is why we need something on that property. We went from a 50 by 70 foot building. We had another remeasurement. We remeasured the property again. We had 80 feet by 70 feet of property in the back of that school. We went to the prefab building. We are building with Born Justice, and now who's a contractor at a construction company, about getting a precast prefab building, which is the cast and cement for the perimeter, which is precast inside, prefabricated inside. He's been having us watch videos and stuff like that and everything. This is where we at. This is something that is tangible. We need to stop spending $4,300 a year to use these schools here, these public schools. This is something we can do as a nation. And it's got to happen soon. See, we having a problem getting into Harriet Tubman. We have the education show and prove coming up. It's going to be different. It's going to be difficult. I'm going to speak about this now. That block is short. A lot of people are going to be bringing cars. We have a church next door, right next to PS 92. What happens if that block becomes so packed where cars cannot move and everything? We right next to that church. What's going to happen come September? We need a place to have a Universal Parliament. That's how far ahead I'm thinking. We said we was going to put out a flyer about parking on 135th Street, or 133rd Street, 133rd Street. Or also try to have access, see if we can get access to the parking lot of the school so we can have some type of form of parking. We have a precinct right on 135th Street on the side. Last Universal Parliament there at PS 92, the police had to come move cars. What do you think is going to happen on the education show and proof on that knowledge? This is why we need our own. This was a vision that was brought up in September of 2021 because of the pandemic. $7,369. That's what we have collected since then.
Who was the bold president?
No, it was just changed. It's not Miss Rich no more. It was just changed to, I just sent them a letter.